everyone, I'm Heath.
I'm Jay.
You're listening to Host of Horror, show where we discuss and review horror films based off of predetermined themes of the month. Jay.
Watch out for Madman Marz.
Madman Marz. He's got his own theme song.
Madman Marz got his own theme song.
Come on, I've never heard of this movie.
I've never heard of this movie.
This man's got his own theme song.
I think there's I don't know if there's a reason or it's like it just happened to slip out the cracks.
Probably, but I don't know. I feel like this would have been like a Blockbuster home video rental kind of situation, and it just didn't happen.
That's probably what it is. But considering that from the looks of it, this is a whole ass passion project, and you know how I love me a good passion project.
Yeah, because this is written, but it's written by two guys. One directed it, and one produced it, and also did the music for it.
And so, I think there's a lot of people doing stuff. This is a lot.
Yeah, even the actors are no name actors, like nobody actors. They haven't done much of anything. The main character that played Betsy, she's done like Creepshow and something else, but that's about it.
Ooh, yeah. That's not bad. But you know who the one who really steals the show? Madman Marz.
That ugly motherfucker making fucking Ernest Scared Stupid noises. No. So if you don't know by now, we're reviewing 1982's Madman, or Madman Marz, directed by Joe Italian last name.
Joe Ginonne.
That word.
Because somebody doesn't do Italian.
I love Italian.
Food.
And people.
All
right, anyway, but yeah. This movie is extremely low budget. It's very, very low budget. You can tell by the makeup, the gore effects, the filming, the acting, everything screams low budget. God damn it, does it have personality?
It has character, all right. It is literally like a character. This movie is a character of its own because it explores the lore and the practicality, just the everything of Madman Marz.
Yeah. And the look and feel of it is like softcore giallo. Like it feels like someone was inspired by giallo films.
Can you explain what giallo is for the ones in the back?
It's essentially like Italian horror. It was very prominent in the 70s and 80s. I think Dario Argento's Suspiria, and I think it's Mario Bava. Anyway, the guy that did the bird with the crystal plumage.
That's a lot to say.
Yeah, I think that's the name of it.
My God.
Shit, hang on.
And we're going to look it up.
You talk.
So my first thoughts going into this is like I never heard of this film.
Yeah, I'm right. The bird with the crystal plumage, but that's Dario Argento too. What did Bava do?
Anyway, I've never heard of this film, so I was not sure what was gonna happen. All I saw was Madman, and when I looked it up, I see like this really like grotesque werewolf looking ass creature. So I was thinking, oh shit, we're gonna finally have a werewolf movie, because we haven't had any of those. At least as far as I know, we haven't had any of them. So I'm just kind of like, yeah. But when I watched this, I was like, oh, this wasn't what I was getting at all. But what you got was a slasher. Basically, it was a slasher with a lot of lore and a lot of like story packed into it. There was a lot of story packed into this, and I'm honestly surprised at how engaged I was with the story.
I was right. It is Mario Bava. He did Black Sunday, Blood and Black Lace, Black Sabbath, and Bay of Blood.
That's a lot of black, and that's a lot of blood.
That's Italian.
I guess they love blacks and bloods.
But yeah, no, giallo, it's like 60s, 70s, 80s. Think vibrant, colorful, huge set pieces. They're very gorgeous horror films. Let's put it that way.
Huh. So, like, one thing that reminded me of is, like, starting from like the first credit scene, it reminded me a little bit of House, just in the way that it was first presented.
A little bit. Like it's the title card and where you get like your opening credits and everything. It's all like old school Hollywood, where it's a painted background and you got the words popping up. Which it ended up being really cool because it's this blood red, which throughout the film they use that almost Hammer horror style color of blood, which I really liked. But it's that blood red background with pitch black trees, but the branches kind of form into what almost look like hands.
It was actually like
it's kind of beautiful.
It's beautifully scary. Like I actually kind of had chills looking at this.
Yeah, thinking about it, this film actually, it's almost like they were inspired by just horror in general because the kills and the gore and everything very much reminisced of Hammer horror. Of course, the style, the look and everything kind of feels giallo, where it's this camp setting with a hillbilly killer. Obviously, Friday the 13th.
It was like Friday the 13th meets Texas Chainsaw Massacre in a way.
Well, again, Jason in part 2 and part 3 is kind of this hermit character.
Yeah.
Even the second one, it's not until the third one that he gets his hockey mask. And the second one, he's wearing a burlap sack.
Wow.
Yeah, so it really does. It feels like they were inspired by horror movies that were current at the time and horror movies that kind of inspired them. So again, Hammer and probably giallo.
It feels like this era of horror just feels very like everything's kind of like close to each other in style and in feel. So it's like it almost feels like everyone it was inspired by each other at some point because there are certain plot elements and certain like tropes that you see all throughout, at least especially this era of horror, like this trope that just is all around. So it feels like either people were already talking to each other or they were watching this and that. We're like, oh, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Because the second film we watched, Sleepaway Camp, is the latest.
It's 83. It's actually weird how we did this. We watched a film that came out in 1980. Then The Burning came out in 81. Madman came out in 82, and then Sleepaway was 83.
So it feels like if you look through the like each year, you can tell each influence and how something kind of is like it's the same, but also inherently different. And you can also tell where people were going with the way that. Excuse me. You can also tell that there's like a certain way that horror was going during this time.
Yeah.
It feels very much so like they were trying to do different things because it feels like they were trying to reinvent the slasher, post Halloween because Halloween made a lot of money, and then of course you had just all the stuff like that. Because when was Nightmare on Elm Street? Was it 1980?
84?
84?
I think.
The first one?
84 or 85, I think.
So it's like then you have stuff like Nightmare on Elm Street right after. So it's like you have like these kind of like horror films that inspired each other between like Halloween in 1977.
84.
Okay. To like Nightmare on Elm Street. So you can tell that there was a little time where they were just kind of following trends in a way.
Yeah, and it's because when we first started this, you were asking about Scream and the quote unquote horror tropes, how it kind of like came to be and when it all started. It's hard to tell when it all started, but I can almost guarantee you it started right around probably this time era. Because you can see what we just did with this month alone is we had 4 movies in 4 different years, all basically the exact same film. And same setting, same style of film, just tweak the story a little bit.
All in the same like year. So this is within 3-4 years.
Yeah, and they all and they have the tropes that Scream talks about. I'll be right back, ends up dying. If you have sex, you end up dying.
Yeah.
The final girl trope. It all has it.
It's wild because
I will tell you one thing about this film that is a little bit different than other films. Madman wins at the end. Usually it's this big thing where the final girl, gets the last quote unquote kill. She makes it out, and then Madman is like, surprise, ooh, I win. No, he actually just straight up wins. Like, he wins in this movie.
Yeah, it's subversive.
Yeah.
This movie is kind of subversive for it being 1982 because between kind of juxtaposed. Also, thinking about it now, if you take all the movies from 1980 to 1983, you can see a shift from whenever the people as in like the campers, the victims win to when the villains win. Because
a little, yeah,
you can see it because from Mrs. Voorhees getting murked by Alice, down to Angela Lilly having Paul's head ripped off from him. Like you can tell, like there was another shift, and where they said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna let the villains win." And Angel's like, "Oh, this is how we're doing this."
Yeah, with Angela though, you can see how it's not a happy ending for her whatsoever. But Madman, again, he just straight up wins.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't recall it probably has happened. I just can't think of it right now. Where the villain of the movie wins. Even Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, is the closest I can think of as of right now. Because I know there's like Hereditary where technically they win. Other things like that. But just a straight up, like, if we're going like old school slasher, the closest would be Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But even the final girl makes it out alive.
Yeah.
This one, no one, like Ricky and some of the other kids make it out alive. That's it. Speaking of, this little motherfucker.
Okay.
We need to talk about Ricky.
I think it's Richie, actually.
Richie?
Okay, so
I'm so mad at him, I'm calling him a different name, and he's going to have to deal with it.
Let's start out. So it literally starts out with the theme song of the movie being sung by JP. TP. So it was one of the main characters, one of the main counselors, I guess.
Yeah.
And
by the way, this theme song, it slaps.
It's like the ballad of Madman Marz. But this one starts out with that. It's kind of like it starts out as a story. So it's like kind of like a little what the fuck? Like, you know how it's kind of like you have a scary story that comes to life? That's basically what happens. Like, this almost like a whole old folktale that's more than a folktale.
Yeah, essentially he's just singing about this guy that lives in the woods and will possibly kill you. What's cool about it, though, is as he's singing, he ends up going to each of the characters, the main characters that you're going to be focusing on, and it actually foreshadows their death. Every character he goes to, you actually see them at a point in time later on in the film, right before they die.
Yeah, no,
that was really cool.
That was cool. It was kind of giving Romeo and Juliet, where it's like, you know what's gonna happen. You just want to see how it happens.
Yeah, but
it's kind of like creepy too, because it's like, oh,
well, that was
like, this shit's really like happen. It's really gonna happen. So you see it. You know they're all gonna die.
Well,
or most of them, yeah.
On top of that, it's a cool idea because I feel like they already knew what you were coming in for. Like this. It's a horror movie in the early 80s. It's been done before. You're there for the kills. If you're going to watch this movie, you're there because you want to see a dude kill some other dudes.
Do you feel like all of these films were made at the same time?
Around the same time, yeah.
It has to be.
So I would say Friday the 13th came out right after Halloween. So about 79 is when they started filming it. And then right after that was The Burning, which probably either was being filmed in 79 or 80s. Because I feel like they're close enough to where, honestly, probably after 80s. So I would say 80s is when it came out because all they did was with The Burning is take the summer camp trope, and then probably the same thing with Madman Marz, but I feel like they probably just added the summer camp later. I feel like they already had the story idea and was getting ready to film it, and then realized, oh, the summer camp craze is kind of
it's kicking right now.
It's kicking, yeah. And I don't. Sleepaway Camp's the only one where I feel like he probably already had this idea. Like, he didn't give a shit if it was Friday the 13th even came out. He probably still would have had the summer camp
made it, yeah.
idea. It's the closest thing that actually feels like kids at a summer camp, even though The Burning seems like they had more, like they had fun.
Oh, they had way more fun.
They had way more fun. But the Sleepaway Camp actually feels like children, because they were children.
Oh yeah, a lot of children were actually there.
But anyway, no, this film's pretty good. The kills
are pretty phenomenal, considering like the low budget status of the film. But this is kind of one of those things where it sometimes worked in his favor, but me being me, the cinematographer, I'm just like, why did you use the film stock? Did you use? Did you not preserve it right? Because it feels like this cut doesn't feel like, I guess, the definitive cut. It feels like they didn't preserve it, and it shows.
Yeah, I mean, they probably didn't.
Because, like, okay, honest. No, there are some moments in the stock where you see, like, like, you have, like, 4 lions in front of, like, the center of the, camera, and I was like, did they just were they just like literally just running out of film or something at this point? They're like, fuck it.
It jumps a bit. There's a couple of like black spots that show up every now and then. I kind of like that. I don't know. The film buff in me likes the idea of it being like the original version. It feels raw.
It does. I don't know. I'm also guess I'm kind of just so used to seeing how a lot of people are like preserve. They are. You know, they do film preservation, that like that's the thing. And I'm used to seeing like a lot of like, you know, restorations being done. This one just felt like, oh, we have a copy of it, let's put it up on Tubi.
Well, I'm also the type of person that looks at films like these and appreciates just its old look, because there's films nowadays where I know it's not CGI, but it's so crisp and so clear that it looks fake, and it actually irks me sometimes.
I get that.
There's just films that do that to me. I can't name one off the top of my head, but there's recent films where I know it's not CGI. I know for a fact this director, Tenet. That's it. Tenet. I know for a fact the director loves his practical effects, and you can tell which parts CGI and which parts not. But the whole film is so clean, so crisp that it looks fake, and it actually irks me a little bit because. I don't know. I don't like when a film looks like it's not real. I prefer a film to look old, to feel raw.
That makes sense, especially if you're shooting on film. You expect it to, you know, have that film feel, that film look.
Yeah.
That film aesthetic. And this really has a film aesthetic. And
it's really cool looking.
It honestly does feel like they used like old film from the like late 70s. And we're like, okay, let's do something with it. And while it does kind of irk me, I also appreciate it because I believe that they were just like really having a fun time.
Yeah, and also when you see a film like this or look like this, it feels like you're watching something that you're not supposed to, in a sense. It's like
voyeuristic.
It feels like a film that should have been lost to time. But here we are watching it on Tubi.
It feels like lost media.
Yeah.
And it kind of does feel like that because just everything about this film screams like classic. It's just very, very classic in its feel. And I think I like that. I like the classicness of it.
Yeah.
But I think there are some parts that did kind of take me out of it, but we'll get in. There's some parts that kind of took me out of it, which, while not the worst, is you can still tell that they had a fun time and that they're trying. It feels like they're trying, but they didn't want to try too hard, so to speak.
I don't think they could try too hard. I feel like they did as much as they could.
They just existed.
What parts took you out of it?
Okay, so that. Oh yeah, tier one, top tier acting we got here.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
acting is
It's pretty on there. Richie, what we were talking about earlier, the supposed actual final girl of the of the movie, he comes across what the madman's been doing all along, and all you see is a reaction. So you're just like, he goes from just like, you can tell the gears are turning in his head from like, what the fuck am I looking at, to, oh, this is what I'm looking at,
I
to,
know, it's
oh,
so bad.
this is not good. This is not good at all. And it cuts.
I just did that.
Oh, you deserve an Oscar for that one.
Right? But no, like, that was the quick version of what he did. It took forever for him to, because he's staring at this shit. So you find out what it is, and it's just like a stockpile of dead bodies. But like, this dude, Richie, shows up, stands there, and just looks around.
Yeah.
Just looks around for a minute. And then finally, it's like the director is off camera going, okay, and you see dead bodies? Richie, you see dead bodies? Huh? Hey, Richie, you see dead bodies? Yeah, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, there's dead bodies. Yes, okay, there they are. Okay, and you have to be horrified? Horrified? Oh, yes, you're right. Oh my God. It's so bad.
It is, it's there. And it kind of upsets me. It upsets me and my homegirls, because he's out of everybody, he's the one that you think expected to die first. Because when they first, like, after they say the story and say, oh, you're scaring the kids, you're like, okay, let's go, let's try to go. Because I think this is like the last thing they do before heading out, like leaving. So this is like the final night there.
Yeah. And he's even the one that provokes Marz, Madman Marz. He like calls him out by his name, says he ain't shit, and throws a rock at his house.
And I'm like, oh,
and he lives.
He is the final one, and literally, like, he's actively seeking this motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
All the other camp counselors, the ones who kind of did nothing wrong, were like, they're the ones that got fucking murked. There's a scene with a noose that made me so deeply uncomfortable, but it was also uncomfortable by the fact that, like, he was hanging for dear life. He felt like he was about to do it, and then Madman grabs his TP belt buckle and then yanks it down, and you just hear the
yeah, it literally sounds like a twig breaking.
And that
because he was struggling. He was grabbing for the rope. He pulled himself up, and by that point, he grabbed the log, pulled himself up, and you're like, "You go, dude! You go, dude!" And fucking Madman, he just yanks him down. And you, like I said, it's literally like someone took a tree branch and went,
It hurt my soul.
It did me too. And then that motherfucker did the death so good because he rolled his eyes to the back of his head. Oh.
You see it all on screen, and that was the part that got me.
The one that got me, because I saw it coming and I knew it was going to hurt, and it hurt, was this one chick is trying to fix her truck up to where it will start.
That was Stacy.
Well, she's trying to get her truck to start, and fucking Madman gets on top of the truck on the roof, looks down for a minute, and you're just like, no, he ain't. Oh, he's about to do it. Oh, this is gonna hurt so bad. And then he just jumps on the hood.
While as she was getting out from under there, and
it just
And then this film kind of like hurt. I think it hurt me. Like, if the deaths actually kind of hurt me, there was a few deaths that kind of hurt, but this one kind of hurt me because I was like, oh no, you just, I feel like it's because you knew it's gonna happen. There's like a sense of like, ooh,
yeah, I would say
you just kind of get like, ooh.
I would say out of all the deaths in the 4 movies we saw, the Kevin Bacon one where he gets the arrow through the throat,
that hurt,
and TP with the noose. Those two right there are probably top contenders for summer camp films. Oh, good shit, man.
And man, that was a good one. I think my personal favorite part of this movie was, I think aside from the beginning, the part where Hold on, because I remember some of these names. Only some of them. Ellie. Ellie.
Which one was Ellie?
The ditzy one.
Oh, the ditzy one.
I feel for this chick. Now, I feel for her and I feel for Betsy. Because, one, her name's Betsy. Two, they both get characterized as the kind of... I won't say ditzy ones, but the ones that, like, they play the damsel in distress. That's kind of what it feels like.
Betsy definitely was the... I wouldn't say like stuck up one, but she was like the play by the rules kind of one.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie, you said?
Maybe she was trying to get
Ellie was the ditz for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the other one, though, the one that got the
Stacy.
Okay. She was pretty cool.
She was pretty cool, and like
she kind of looks like Cher too, like a young Cher. So got that like, going.
They kind of played off off archetypes, and I feel like they kind of play out these archetypes relatively well because like Stacy is like she looks like she kind of reads Mrs. Magazine, but also like pussy power. Like you can tell that she was like a child of the sexual revolution.
Yeah, carrying a fucking wood flute around.
A recorder. That was a recorder.
Whatever the fuck it was. She was like, carrying it around all over the place.
Like she was playing her recorder, baby, like she was a bard, honey. Then you have, of course, TP. The kind of, I guess, the stereotypical macho man kind of deal.
God, I can't think the actor's name, but he played Gomez in the live action Addams Family movies.
I know who you're talking about, and I can't remember the name.
But he does kind of look like that.
Yeah.
Then you got Discount Tom Selleck.
Oh, yeah, that was, not Bill. That was...
And then you got the blonde guy that had that weird dialogue about, you don't know people. You don't know what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That was the weirdest thing ever.
I don't know his name.
You have the scene where it's Madman Marz killing TP, and the next thing you know, you have these four characters: young Cher, Ditz, Tom Selleck, and Blondie.
Dave. That was the blonde one.
Dave. Of course his name is fucking Dave.
And like
but they're sitting down next to a fireplace and their heads are right next to each other and they look stoned out of their mind.
Maybe.
They took something that I want. They took something that they made illegal back in the 70s.
Had to do something like that. Because I was like,
they're just sitting there. Looking at the ceiling, and one's talking about the fire. The other one's like, "Yeah, what? Oh, we're sitting too close to the fire." And then the other one's like, "Nah, I like it because I like the way fire burns. You know, you get to hear things burn. That's really cool." And then the ditz is like, "What do you think, Dave?" And Dave's all like, "You don't know what I think." You never know what I think. And he pulls out a fucking knife, and he's like, "You don't know what I'm thinking right now."
And I'm like, what are you trying to do?
Where the fuck did this come from, Dave?
I think he was just trying to get his best scary story on. Because, like...
He didn't get a chance at the fire? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. He didn't get a chance at the fire. But you can tell that they were, like, friends.
Yeah.
Well, more than friends. Because, like, everybody that wasn't Dave or Stacy was booed up.
Yeah. I like that one toast that TP did. Here's to friends and lovers and to always having more than you need.
Mm-hmm.
I like that toast. That's a good toast.
Oh my God.
I'll remember that.
That was a moment. Did I like that moment? Yeah. It was kind of a heartfelt moment.
You know what my favorite scene was?
Oh dear God.
The lovemaking scene in the hot tub.
Bitch, let me tell you about this scene. Actually, let Heath tell you about it because that shit's funny.
That shit was weird.
That shit was funny.
So you get this like awkward music playing in the background, and this is the first time you hear honest to God lyric music other than like Madman's theme.
It was like some jazz music, like some shit that you obviously want to be like, it's a boom boom room music.
And Betsy and TP get in the hot tub, right? And they're at a distance. And they circle each other. But not only do they circle each other while doing circles. and this lasts for like a minute, 30 seconds. It doesn't sound as funny as it is, but just imagine two naked people in a hot tub doing this. What?
And you're just like, what is this?
And this goes on for a long fucking time. It was the most awkward 3 minutes of film I've ever seen, and I loved every minute of it.
My favorite part when it comes to lovemaking was when Stacy busted in on Bill and Ellie. Actually, the whole everything between Stacy, Bill, and Ellie were just perfect for me because it was like so bad, but it was good. Like first you have Stacy bust in on them, like, you know, in bed, like doing a doop de doop, and there's like, I'm gonna mean to bust in on you, but we need to kind of get together, and I think it's important. I think you should follow me, but you know, don't rush.
Don't rush, but hurry.
If you know what I mean. And I'm like, you girl, you slut. I love you. and they go back to making out, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
They always didn't take it seriously. They're just like, okay, let's make this quick. So they got a little Jackie off, you know, little cummies, little something. And then later on, they're like, this threesome kind of circles back. And the fact that after you see Stacy's head get decapitated by the truck, boop, Ellie sees Madman like observing Stacy's corpse, and
as one does,
and fucking screams. And bitch, oh, you know what? You just got me on a tangent. You know what the fuck? What got me upset is the fact that like these motherfuckers saw it. And half of them believe them. And I'm just like...
No, that actually did make me mad. So, okay,
like,
so...
bitch, what the fuck?
TP goes to find Richie. And Betsy sees Madman lurking in the woods. And goes, oh, TP! And he's like, what? Oh, nothing.
Like, the scene is gone. And it kind of makes it feel like they're going hysterical because of all of the stories. They think they're seeing stuff because of the story.
Yeah, but still, though, like, fucking say something. You know, I don't know, especially Ditzy, because she saw a big-ass dude, like, hovering over a dead body. And you're going to sit there and scream bloody murder, and just because Homeboy shows up and it was like, well, I don't see anything, you're going to be like, oh, well, I guess you're right. Nothing was there.
And I'm like, girl, you saw it.
You were there.
You were not dumb, baby. Ellie, you weren't dumb. You saw it. You saw it with your two eyes.
Oh, no, what was also funny about that scene? When they go to the truck and there's a clear dent in the hood with blood and everything.
And they never see the fucking front.
They never go to the front.
They go to the back.
They walk to the side. The camera stays right there in the front. They walk to the side, walk around to the back, other side, never coming to the front, and Homeboy's like, see? Nothing's there. It's all good. You're crazy. You're a crazy 80s lady.
But I was heated. I was hot. I was like, come on. You see right there. And then it's not until you go and open up the trunk that you see the blood. And then you look down and see Stacy's head. That's when you're just like, oh no. And then Ellie's ass goes and looks at it, despite Bill saying stay in the fucking truck. And what the killer part is that after he took the head out, the truck started opening up because it was broken down. It wouldn't start when Stacy was on there, but it started up when Bill did it. I'm just like, bitch, what the fuck?
Yeah, like right off the bat too.
And I'm like come
on. They established that this truck has trouble starting. Like Stacy had trouble every time she tried to start it. He had trouble the first time, but of course a head was in the way. The second time he tries to start it, so like the fourth or fifth time in this film, every other time was difficult to start. This last time, when it actually needed to start, of course it started.
Did you hear the squishy? It was like the gross squishy sound too.
Oh yeah. The sound effects, other than
it was 80s as fuck.
Yeah, like Marz, I hated the grunts and the groans because it literally reminded me of Ernest.
Oh my god.
But everything else sound wise was pretty A1. His look also was kind of stupid. He looked very cheap.
See, but also this is a passion project.
Yeah.
So
Good for a passion project.
I hate that I give things a pass the minute I see it as a passion project because it's like you made a movie and you did that shit.
I give it a pass if I had fun. I don't give a shit if it's a passion project or not, but if I had fun, I'm giving you a pass. So, like, I will knock you some points because the makeup effects look like shit.
But the blood looked good, though.
Yeah, but I'm giving you some points because I had a goddamn good time watching this.
There was another scene that I liked. Oh, I was rooting for Betsy because she was close. Because she had too many coats and clowns. She was close to like murking his mom, dude.
No.
And then like the gun, she saw him and she couldn't put the bullets in time, and they got her ass.
No, what pissed me off was, first off, she had a shotgun. She had the opportunity to shoot this motherfucker, but every time she didn't take it. Know when she did shoot? When something jumped in front of her and scared the shit out of her.
Granted, it's a natural reaction.
I get that, but she also killed her friend. So, like, Ditzy gets an axe to the chest. You're thinking, oh, dead. Okay. And you're even kind of wondering, you know, how she could move. You know, maybe Madman's in the room with her and made her move to the window, and that's what scared her and all that good shit. But no. It was shown that Madman is not in the room. Madman had left. He is leaving. So that means Ditzy, even though she got an axe to the chest, managed to get up to the window, seeking help from her friend Betsy, and Betsy turns around and goes, "Oh shit!" and shoots her in the face.
She murked.
She murdered her friend. And then the second time she's at Madman's house, and I don't know what the fuck happened, but like Madman's behind her, and something moves, and she shoots the thing moving, not Madman.
And then she couldn't get it in time, and then she got murked herself because, like, was straight to the heart. Like, whatever, it got straight through the body.
He meat hooked her.
I felt that part. I felt that.
Yeah.
And then, but she got the last little stab, and she's like, enough! And stabbed him, I think in the wherever. She stabbed him somewhere. And then like everything starts toppling over, and I think they both die.
Well, he burnt the house down, but it shows at the end of the film he's still alive.
Oh, he ran out? I don't know, the way that they made it look.
Well, no, because you hear his theme playing. Like, Richie shows up and he's like, Madman's real. Madman's real. And you hear the theme playing while he's walking in the woods.
Oh, speaking of, Richie's bitch ass, the one who provoked this and also started the whole event of the whole goddamn movie, is sitting around in the woods by himself the whole time, hiding and looks like trying to catch his ass.
Yeah, that is weird. So he literally sees this man walking and stalking the woods, this creepy man. He sees this man dragging bodies. We see this man dragging said bodies. And yet, instead of going to get help, he literally pursues this man and then goes into this man's house, snooping around, and then pursues the man again, and then pursues him back to that. So he's like following this dude the entire time, never searching for help, but yet he sees almost everything that he's doing.
He sees almost every event take place, and then nothing until the very last minute where
he doesn't even get help. He gets help for himself. He just happens to find Mark, who is like the head counselor dude, and he's like, "Hey, you were right. Madman's real." He doesn't say where the house is or where the bodies are. He's just like, "Yeah, Madman's real. You were right." Well, no shit, Sherlock. I'm sorry. Richie's the true villain.
Richie's the true. He's both the final girl and the true villain, and I don't know how to feel about it.
Richie should have died.
Damn. Just damn.
Oh, God. Oh, all in all, good film, though. I really, really enjoyed this movie.
It's camp.
100%.
That's basically what it... Like, I feel like as I'm not even gonna say it's intentionally bad because there's a lot of effort there, but like camp is camp, baby, and
I feel like you need a snap after that.
but it feels like they tried hard enough to where it's like you can tell that there's effort put into this. There's
love.
There's love in this. Is it good? Is it like good by like cinema standards? Hell no. But is there effort in it? It's not bad. Like
it's a good time, good watch.
It's a good
Hell
time.
Yeah.
It's like this is I don't know. Personally, I don't know if I can watch it again, but I know other people who be willing to watch this multiple times. So, all in all, what a bad film. Like, I started kind of enjoying myself a little bit more than I was expecting. And I guess it's also because it's like, it's very like, it's like kind of like classic horror.
Yeah.
Classic horror at the same time is like, is a mix of classic horror and modern at the time horror. So it kind of mixes the two pretty well, especially in its presentation. It was a pretty good presentation.
No, I liked it. I'm gonna go ahead and rank it. 3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
I give it a good 3. Like I'm gonna be right in the middle. I think it's a good 3. Like it's a pretty good one. Like I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, and again, free on Tubi. Check it out. Like seriously.
Oh yeah.
It's worth watching. Like especially if you're into campy 80s horror movies and you've never heard of this, it's definitely worth checking out just for a good time. Like I had a lot of fun watching it.
Like, you know, a lot of people say use cult classic like it's a tampon, but it's kind of like this feels like it could be a cult classic that no one's really heard of.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like this is basically very akin to God damn it! Keep on bringing up Blood Rage.
Blood Rage. It's Blood Rage is better. 100%. Blood Rage needs to be a cult classic. I can see this one becoming a cult classic. The fact that Blood Rage doesn't get the love that I feel it deserves, I will never sleep well at night because of that.
I just think like 1980s horror films at this point were giving they were campy.
Yeah.
And I can't really think of anything other than that they were campy. Like you can tell that it was like cheap thrills, but like they're cheap thrills that, you know, were fun cheap thrills. Like yeah, you get the popcorn horror and all of that. So it's cheap thrills, but
hey, at least this one didn't have piano wire. That's the one thing about the burning I will not forgive.
It's the piano wire.
That fucking piano wire. But end of the month, you know what that means?
Oh wow, it's already the
end of the month.
Well then,
rank that shit.
Oh, you put me on the spot
right now.
All right, so based off, I'm gonna kind of rate this off how much fun I had watching it.
Okay.
So number 4, I'm going with Sleepaway Camp. I've had kind of like objectively like the least fun watching it, but there was something about it that was like it's a soft 4. 3, you know, I might give to Friday the 13th.
Ooh,
Friday the 13th. Despite how iconic it is, I'm still kind of like about it. It was Swiss cheese. And I think I can't get over the Swiss cheese. Honestly, all of these have some form of Swiss cheese here. A little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that's the 80s in general.
Number 2, I'm going to give to The Burning. Because despite the fact that I didn't have as much fun as I thought I would, I had more fun watching that than I did Sleepaway Camp. And this unfortunately puts Madman at number 1 because I think the lore got me. And it's like, I can recommend this. I won't watch it again, but I can recommend this to other people. Like, the top 2, honestly, can go either way. Because I do believe that those films deserve to be talked about more. And the kills were pretty great. Like, all of the kills in this season of this month were pretty pretty damn iconic, pretty damn brutal, and yeah.
Nice.
So that's kind of my ranking.
Nice. Number 4, going with Sleepaway Camp. I did have fun watching some parts. I still think that Angela speaking to whatever his name was, Paul. Angela speaking to Paul for the first time, that's a very sweet moment. That actually, it made me go, aw, like audibly go, aw. I can't get over the fact that a 15-year-old is sexualized. 4. Number 3, Madman. I'm going to put Madman at number 3.
Oh.
I had a lot of fun watching it, but I do believe that Friday 13th and The Burning is better. So, that leads... Do I go with better story or better kills?
Up to you.
So, number 2 is going to be Friday the 13th. Better kills, lackluster story. I don't know.
Maybe the story, there's no story there.
Yeah, there's really not. There's a motive, that's it. The Burning. I love The Burning. Burning's really, really good. I love the fun that the campers have in the beginning half of the film. I like somewhat of the motivation, even though he's killing randomly. I do like the prank gone wrong kind of motivation a little bit more than my son died, and so I'm going to kill everyone at this camp. Make sure this particular camp never gets open.
Oh my god.
I like that motivation a little bit more. The kills could have been better. The filming could have been better. The lighting could have been better. But overall, good film. I did enjoy The Burning. So, Sleepaway Camp, Madman, Friday 13th, Burning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, you kind of made me want to change mine a little bit.
Nope, too late.
It's too late.
Set in stone. It's like the 10 Commandments. God looked at that and went, oh, wait. I'm out of room.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah,
wow.
So we're moving on to a new month, man.
Wow.
New month. Woo!
And you know what? It's getting closer to a 1-year anniversary.
It is October.
Man. Is this wild to know that we've been at this for almost a year now?
Yeah.
Like, this is the most commitment I've had to a lot. This is the most commitment I had to a thing in a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of like, I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm excited about this next one, mainly because of the next film that's on our list. Oh, it is a personal favorite of mine. So the next theme for next month is book to film adaptation not involving Stephen King. Please do not fucking ask for a Stephen King movie. I may do my own ranking. Or we may do a theme that's just Stephen King.
Novel. Yeah, Stephen King
novel.
There's
too many fucking Stephen King movies out there. I wanted something different.
I know he got money.
Yeah.
I know he got money from all these adaptations. I know he does.
So, and this one makes me so happy because it's a movie that not a whole lot of people talk about.
Oh, God.
But the people that do talk about it fucking love it. And
what
that is 2008's The Ruins.
Yet another film I've never heard of, so I'm excited. Let's get into it.
It is so good. So
good. And that is the sound of Heath creaming his pants.
It's so good. It's so underrated. So underrated. It's such a great tension burner. Like, literally, the moment they get to where the plot happens to the end of the film, until the credits roll, it's nothing but tension.
Don't talk about it.
So good.
We're gonna go in blind, like I am. Well, I'm gonna go in blind.
Oh, so good. So tune in next week. Watch The Ruins in for preparation.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're on to August, and if you can't wait, always listen to our podcast and look at our videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Please like, subscribe, and comment. And also press that bell notification so you know whenever we drop a video.
Yeah. We're also on the social medias. We got the Facebooks. We got the Instagrams.
We got the Twitters.
Yeah, we got the Twitters. The
Letterboxd.
Like, we're dropping that pretty heavy, guys. Go to the Letterboxd.
We got all the ones that matter.
Yeah. Well, We got Letterboxd.
And to circle back on audio, we're also in audio form on Spotify, Google, Apple, and wherever else you listen to your podcasts.
Yeah. Then that's about it.
That's it.
I've been Heath.
And I've been Jay.
And you've been listening to Host of Horrors.
Bye.
Bye, guys.